Chapter 3. As the morning arose, the priest of Babeson headed back out to the other side of town to the next Kmart. Counting the bullets in their rifles and tying their razor-sharp swords to the thighs, once they stuck their fists into the mud and placed it upon their faces and put on their masks, they filled their van with premium gasoline and made sure they tipped the cashier with seven tokens at the store, and drove just under the speed limit to the Kmart on the west side of town. And they had placed a ladder upon the top of the van, because this mission is going to be a draw mission from the roof of the department store. They arrived, pulled her on the back, threw a flash grenade at the guards at the back, causing them to drop their walkie-talkies and fall to the ground. They hopped out of the van and planted the ladder in the ground to climb upon the roof. They unsheathed their swords and swiped out the power cables, disabling their power and security systems. They both fired 12 shots at the air conditioner on the roof, causing it to crash. Therefore, they stomped it and made it fall to the top of the roof to the middle of the store. The fall was only about 25 feet, so they each did a somersault in midair to land in the middle of the store. They both drew their rifles, knowing that each only had about 2 clips left, only 22 bullets in each. They switched the rifles into their left hand, knowing it was more accurate than the right, with their swords unsheathed in their right. And they ran to aisle number 12 and opened the box of bullets. So they found more and reloaded and headed into the layaway section. The priest fired 5 shots at the layaway cashier, 1 in the heart, the second in the right hand, the third in the left hand, the fourth in the belly, and the 5th in the forehead. The priest then called for Babeson. Babeson unsheathed his sword and swung at the cable underneath the register, loosing it from its place and opening it as well. So Babeson resheathed his sword into a paper bag he found underneath the register, stashed the money into it as the priest ran to the frozen food section in aisle 16. He grabbed an iron cart and filled it with Hot Pockets of all flavors. Soup with broccoli and rice, pepperoni, steak. Loaded up on the iron cart to the brim, and they both rushed to the van. Babeson bit another flash grenade, blinding everyone in the store, from the associates to all the other shopping civilians, causing them to fall to the floor. Babeson unsheathed his sword, decapitating all of them that fell upon the floor. The priest grabbed another iron shopping cart and filled it once again to the brim, this time with all the heads of them in the frozen food section where he had taken the Hot Pockets out of chapter 3. Chapter 4. As a flash grenade went off, the priest and Babeson threw the ladder back onto the top of the van. He head back to the home to the wives which they had robbed the market for. They sped back to their home, their underground palace. As they pulled in the driveway, they noticed blood on the door. The blood spelled out a K on the door. Both became nervous when they opened the door to see a most terrific scene. All their wives were murdered and their body parts were scattered all around their house. The gold was all red, the rainbow lights had all been smashed, the bellies had been ripped open, and they looked at each other and wept, completely baffled and confused on how they lost the battle. For now they had gained such great material riches, yet that were now demolished. And they said to each other, "Let's leave this country and head to Egypt." So they built a raft out of their van, stuck paddles out of their window, and drove across the Red Sea, floated and paddled through the dark night of the Middle East to head to the Great Pyramids of Giza. They landed upon the dry land in one night, As the morning arose, they began to dig in the ground to search for gasoline for their van. They removed their outer garments and dug until they hit oil. The priest spit on the oil and transformed it into a full tank of gasoline. So they traveled through the pyramids, and it took about 1.5 days until they passed the Sphinx and took outright through the Great Pyramids, and they climbed to the top of that monument, on top of the pyramids. They took the swords and they split it in half, causing a golden tomb to emerge from the ground. The casket opened, and emerged from the tomb was Pharaoh's firstborn son. He was young and ready, and the sun upon his face, and his eyes blue as the sea. End of chapter 4. End of story.